Good morning. With the first round of the NFL Draft beginning this Thursday, April 23rd, there has been questions raised about Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and his draft status or draft stock. Many experts believe that Tua will fall in the draft because of injuries sustained in college, but I believe that Tua Tagovailoa is a generational talented quarterback that will not fall in the draft. Tua Tagovailoa was the Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback from the 2017 to 2020 season. Tua began his college career as a backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts, who was the University of Oklahoma quarterback this year. But during the 2018 National Championship game, Tua replaced Hurts in the second half of the game and led the Crimson Tide to a national championship. Tua Tagovailoa remained the starting quarterback of the Crimson Tide until his graduation after the 2019-2020 college football season. During his college football career, Tua, however, sustained multiple injuries, which caused him to miss a total of 9 games in 3 years. Some of the injuries that Tua sustained in college was a broken index finger in 2018, a knee sprain in 2018, ankle sprains in 2018 and 2019 that required him to have spinal surgeries to fix, and most recently a dislocated hip with a pelvic floor fracture in 2019. However, many NFL draft experts and scouts believe that the beginning of the 2019-2020 college football season, Tua Tagovailoa was to be a top 5 prospect and possibly the number 1 overall prospect for the 2020 NFL draft. Unfortunately, Tua's 2019-2020 season was cut short after suffering a dislocated hip in a game against Mississippi State on November 16th. Following the injury, most NFL draft analysts believe that Tua's draft stock would plummet. Matt Miller, an NFL draft analyst, stated in the USA Today Journal article that Tua Tagovailoa's draft stock could take a hit due to his past injuries and unknowns. An unknown is whether Tua is going to be healthy and able to play in the 2020 NFL season. According to Tua's doctor, Dr. Lyle Kane, who performed his surgery and hip reduction in Houston, Texas, Dr. Lyle Kane has Tua having a 10% chance of playing in the 2020 NFL season. Another journalist for Sporting News also reported that many NFL teams are concerned about Tua's injury history, which may allow him to fall in the draft from his original draft projection at number 5 overall. Although Tua is injury prone, he's still a top 5 draft stock value. Trent Dilfer, a former NFL quarterback and current ESPN analyst, had high praise for Tua Tagovailoa. Mr. Dilfer said that Tua throws better than Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino. He throws a football better than anyone who has ever thrown a football. Whoever gets him wins the draft because they are getting a Hall of Fame player. The high praise that Tua had from the renowned ESPN analyst shows how Tua is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the draft and could be in generational talent. Also, Mel Kiper Jr. is a ESPN analyst who makes mock drafts every year. And in the 2020 mock draft, he has Tua going in the first round to Miami Dolphins at the 5th overall pick. For Mel Kiper to still have Tua Tagovailoa projected to be drafted in the first round, 5th overall, highlights how NFL teams should disregard his injury history because they are still getting a highly talented prospect. Alabama head coach Nick Saban, who coached Tua from 2017 to 2019, also believes that Tua is going to be a star in the NFL. Nick Saban was a head coach for the Miami Dolphins back in 2006, and they had the possibility of drafting Drew Brees in 2006 to the Dolphins. Nick Saban stated that the Miami Dolphins should not have made the same mistake he made when he was a head coach for the Dolphins in 2006. Drew Brees is now one of the best quarterbacks who has ever played the game and is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. By Nick Saban stating that Tua Tagovailoa is comparable to Drew Brees and has similar characteristics, puts him in very good company. With the NFL draft only being days away, many people think that Tua will go to the Miami Dolphins at number 5 overall. Miami Dolphins executives have said that they've been looking at Tua since he began his college career at Alabama. Cameron Wolfe, a ESPN staff writer, first reported that the Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores met with Tua at the NFL Combine in February 2020. Coach Flores went on to say that Tua fits a lot of the criteria that they talked about in the quarterback position, being a good player, a good person, leadership qualities, locker room. This report shows that Tua is still the most sought-out prospect for the Miami Dolphins, and they're trying to draft despite the injuries he had in college. In March of 2020, Tua Tagovailoa surgically repaired hip, which is 4 months post-operation of his hip, has been cleared for light football-related activities by an NFL independent doctor. This is good. This is good news for Tua because teams do not have to speculate whether Tua's hip is a liability heading into the draft. Even though that Dr. Lyle Kane believes that Tua will not play in the 2020 NFL football season due to his hip, the Miami Dolphins still have a veteran quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick that they believe that Tua can learn from and rest his hip for the 2020 season and then begin his NFL career in 2021. But in regards to Tua Tagovailoa's draft stock, I'm in agreement with many ESPN analysts, NFL analysts, and coaches from all over the college and NFL scene that Tua's injury history will not impact his draft stock in the upcoming 2020 NFL draft. Thank you.